his life that way, all of a sudden, for the love of our Lord Jesus Christ. The other thing is also in Maranatha, in the cave, Our Lady appeared to him. She appeared to him, and she gave him or she inspired him, or she gave him the book of the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, which, as they say, rests on one idea that man has been created to know, to love, and to serve God. Like this fan is created to push the air. You know? If the fan breaks down, you throw it away. It's good for nothing. So if man doesn't love God, if man doesn't serve God and fulfill His commandments, man is good for nothing. Man is useless. It's like a piece of garbage, which God forbid, of course, and that's why we have this baptism today. That little girl, Andrea, she is made by God so that she may love God. God created her to be loved by her, to be known by her, so that His wonders be known by her. And God created her to love her, and to be loved by her, of course, in return, a little bit at least, and to be served by her. That's what we are here for. It's a very simple truth. Is it false to say that we are created for His service? Who created us afterwards? You know, when you grow something, it's for you. You know, the tobacco grower, you know, grew some leaves of tobacco. These leaves of tobacco are his. Now, if he wishes to give me some of his leaves, that's fine. I'll accept. But these tobacco leaves are his. It's his property because he grew them. So it's the same thing. God created us, so we belong to Him. And what's the problem with that? Modern man has a problem with that. They have a problem into directing their lives, into ordering their lives towards God. They don't accept that. Sometimes they put a rosary on the back mirror, yes. And sometimes they put Divine Mercy, you know. Be careful of Divine Mercy, you know, it's dangerous. It's condemned by the Church under Pius XII. But sometimes they put holy images, and that's very nice. I don't condemn that. It could lead to something greater, and it keeps the faith at least. But man has been created to serve God, to order his life into His service. And so whatever in our life helps us to serve better God is something that puts our life in order and happiness, in the correct order. And so the reordering of our lives and the placing of our lives under Christ as a captain of knights. Every Christian is a knight with a sword. Even the little girl right there, she's a knight in shining armor with a sword. And she fights for Christ. Because our kingdom to conquer is our heart. It's a vast kingdom. Our immortal soul is something infinite that doesn't age and everything. It doesn't need the aging cream, you know, or dye on the hair, you know. It's an immortal, indestructible soul that we have. And so that soul is an immense territory. It's an immense kingdom. In your life, you've got plenty of actions. Also, every day, you've got plenty of thoughts. Where are these thoughts going? What's the direction also of your intentions? Is your sole intention is to serve yourself and please yourself, or is your intention also to help the others, to help your neighbor, and to ultimately to glorify God? You know? What are the intentions below your actions? And St. Ignatius is very good for that. He was also very good in the discerning of spirit, into discerning the movements of the soul, because in the soul there are movements of thoughts, and one is from the devil, and then the other one is from the good angel. And then they have a different way to talk, depending whether you fight sin or not. If you don't fight sin, the bad angel cajoles you, says God is love, and then you know, like this or that. And the bad angel tries to sting you. Whereas when you try to fight sin, and when you refuse sin, then it's a bad angel who is stinging you, and a good angel who is consoling you. That's the basic rule of discernment of spirit. Now, other rules, very interesting. and so which was very profitable. You know. And then St. Ignatius, the movie didn't have the time for that, rose an immense army and, of fighters for Christ, missionaries. At the peak of the Jesuit order, there were 35,000 priests. Can you imagine? 35,000. The Marian Corps was 35,000. So it made a huge difference. They converted entire countries like Poland, Austria, Hungary, you know, parts of perhaps of Denmark and Sweden, I don't know. But they converted South America, a very famous Jesuit reduction in South America. And they went anywhere the Pope would send them. And so the Pope would send them where the others didn't want to go because it was too difficult. For instance, you got the man-eaters in New Guinea, the Papoose. You know? Nobody wants to go there, so the Pope sends Jesuits there to convert the Papoose. So some Jesuit missionaries were eaten up. So, and then they went to China. They almost converted the Chinese emperor, but they were betrayed, and then the conversion didn't take place. Very sad. But even to this day, the Chinese, even the communists, respect the Jesuits. Because they came in the Chinese court and they did it the right way. They came with scientific instruments and they fixed the Chinese calendar. The Chinese couldn't calculate the motion of the stars and everything, and their calendars were erroneous. And so the Chinese told them, it's very simple, you know, calculate this with this instrument, this and that instrument, and they fixed the Chinese calendar. So the Chinese were very impressed. And so they translated into Chinese many Western books, and they translated into our languages many Chinese books. They are the authors of the first Chinese grammars, among other things. And so they were ministers in the court of the Chinese emperor, who approved the Christian law, who said this is a true religion. But as he was at the gate of converting, the Jesuits were betrayed, unfortunately, and that conversion didn't take place. I just hope that the conversion of China is for later, because China now is going to become #1. The US are waning, and China is becoming #1, with Russia, of course. And so it's a great saint, you know, the life of the saints are always our inspiration. It's a great inspiration. Of course, we read Scripture, yes, Scripture is sacred, you know. But the life of the saint, it's kind of direct, it's very punchy, and it tells us what to do. It's, the example of the saints, you know, they drag us to do what is right, and to direct our lives. That's what the common element of the saints, that their lives are directed in the right direction. Whereas, you know, we, because of liberalism, we made compromises always, unfortunately. And that should stop, you know, so that we may also become saints alongside with them. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost.